Welcome back. In the last video, we completed the design of our trivia app. Now it's time to add some behaviors to make things work. So let's start by opening the blocks editor. In the left pane, you see a number of built-in categories. We'll be using a few of these for this project. Under Control, there's an if-then block. We'll use this block to check if a value is true or false. If the value is true, we'll take some action. Otherwise, we'll do nothing. In the Math category, there's a block to compare two values to determine if they are equal to each other. We'll also be using this block. In the Text category, the first block is used to define a string of characters. There are also blocks for returning the length of a string, converting a string to uppercase, and so on. In the List category, there are blocks for working with various lists, such as the list of questions and answers that we will need for our quiz. For example, there's a Make a List, there's a Select Item from List, which will come in quite handy. We'll also use a number of variables for our quiz. Variables are used to store information that can subsequently be changed. For each variable, there's a get and a set property. Set is used to store a value in the variable, and get is used to return a value from the variable. We won't be using dictionaries, colors, or procedures during this lesson. Okay, so let's start building our app. We're going to need three lists: a list of questions, a list of answers, and a list of pictures. So we'll start out by dragging a variable block into the blocks editor. Then we'll bring in a Make a List block. Notice that this block defaults to 2 items. We'll need 5 for our list. By clicking on the gear icon, we can expand the number of items in the list. So now let's add our first text component. And right-click on the text component, and we can duplicate it 4 more times. Now click on the name and change it to QList for question list. Now right-click on the Make a List block and duplicate it to create another list. Click on the name and change the name to A List for answer list. Now create a third list and call it P List for our list of pictures. Now I'll open up the text file which was downloaded from the resources folder. You should have done the same. The file name is NBA Quiz Data. It contains the questions, answers, and image data for our quiz. Now let me speed up the video and paste in all of this information. Now it's your turn. Pause the video and copy all of the information from the text file into your project. When you're done, click play to resume the lesson. Welcome back. I hope you didn't have too much difficulty completing that short exercise. But now we have all of our lists completed. Our question list, our answer list, and our image list. Now, before we move on to programming the event blocks, we'll need one more variable. So I'll bring in a variable block, and we'll give it a name of QIndex. And we'll set it to a value of 1. For that, we go to the Math category, select the number block, drag it in, change the value to 1. We'll be using this variable to keep track of the question number as we loop through the quiz. So we're setting the value to 1 here so that it's pointing at question number 1. Okay, let's conclude this lecture. In the next video, we'll learn how to program our app's events. First, we'll find out how to iterate through the quiz by switching questions and images each time the next button is clicked. We'll also add blocks that report whether or not a question has been answered correctly and allow the user to get help with a particular answer. So I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thanks for watching.